Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on this makeup look. I wanted to do something with lilac. Like for some reason, this light purple color was really inspiring me right here. So between this lilac eyeshadow and this backdrop, I was inspired to play around with lilacs and pinks and glitter. I really hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and if you want to learn how to get this makeup look, keep on watching. Going into the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'll be picking up Realgar. Picking that up on a Smith 230 brush. I'm gonna tilt my head back a little bit and put this in my upper crease. And I'm using a really light hand for this because I don't want it to come off crazy at first. Just lightly applying this eyeshadow. Pop that into the crease. Katie questions me all the time as to why I like to say pop. Pop it into the crease, pop on my lashes. I feel like she should just let me live, right, Sven? She needs to let me live, man. You know, actually, I know where I got it. When I first started watching YouTube videos, the first YouTuber I started watching was Tanya Burr, and I believe she says, pop it on. You know, she has that accent that I love to listen to. I'm pretty sure she uses that word, and that's why I say it. I'm also gonna take that shadow and just bring it down here. Just create a V on the outer part of the eye. Next, I'm going to pick up the Smith 247, which is a smaller blending brush, and I'm gonna go into Red Ochre, and we're gonna deepen up that crease. You guys know I love these red tones. Picking up the brush that I used the first eyeshadow, use that brush just to diffuse the outer corners. I'm gonna be mixing Venetian Red with Red Ochre and put them into the crease and right below the crease. I haven't done my foundation or concealer yet, so it's okay if you get eyeshadow like over here. We can clean it up later. Next, we're going in with a gel liner. This is by ColourPop. It's in the shade Cry Baby. It's a lilac color. And I'm using a Sigma concealer brush. I'm gonna use this as a base for the lid. Take that into the inner tear duct, kind of carve out the crease a little bit. This eyelid is always super jacked. It's more folded in than this side, so that's why I always turn this way. This is like my better crease of the two. So I like to always show you guys what it looks like on this crease, because this one's just the struggle crease. I always got that heavy tilt in pictures, like. And then once you get to the outer edge, blend it out a little bit. Let's go back with your blending brush, blend it out. Next, we're gonna go into this eyeshadow by Makeup Geek. It's called Hopscotch. I'm taking the same brush. I cleaned it off professionally on the back of my hand, obviously. Pack the eyeshadow on over the eyeliner that we just placed. Now I'm gonna go with the Venetian Red, blend it into the lilac on the outer corner. So it has like a nice gradient here. So now we're gonna do the glitter liner. This is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal in ACDC. These liners are literally everything. I had to get them in every color because they are amazing. So I'm gonna take this and do the first half of the wing. I like to really look up to see how my eye folds so that I get it perfect. As I'm looking straight, I like to make the shape. And you kind of have to build on this. Like I built on it a lot, make it this opaque over here. So I'm doing it with my eye open first, and then as I get the shape, I'll go look down and fill in the little cracks that we got going on. Now that we've built up that glitter wing, I want the outer half of the wing to be sharp. I'm gonna pick up the Trooper liner and build up the outer part of the wing here. I like to use the Trooper liner to outline the wing, but then to fill it in, I like to use the NYC liquid liner just because it's easier. I think it's a little bit less shiny. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara now that we have the wing blended out. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's the waterproof one, it's amazing. I didn't properly curl my lashes, but that's because we're gonna apply falsies. House of Lashes Iconics. So a lot of people tell me that they have a hard time applying these, that they look too big or crazy. When I take this out of the packaging, it's wide for my eye, and if you put something that's too wide and closes off the eye in this part of the eye, it's gonna make your eyes look like heavy. So what I like to do is measure your eye, and you just wanna cut some of the end off. I like to cut the longer side, the part that goes on the outside of the eye, because the inner part is perfectly tapered already. We don't wanna mess with that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pop those on. So before I finish off the rest of the eyes, I'm gonna go in with my face makeup. This is the Elcie foundation in the shade Natural. I'm just going in with my beauty blender and applying that all over my face. After foundation, we're gonna go in with our concealer. This is the NARS. I use this in every video because it's my favorite. Radiant Creamy Concealer in Ginger. When I apply concealer, I always like to apply most of the product right below the hollows of the eyes and on the hollows. Obviously, to highlight, I do a little triangle here. But I don't glob it right under my eye because I like to keep as little product there as possible, so I like to blend this up into the under eye. That way there's like less creasing, so you don't have a bunch of product built up underneath your eye where you have, you know, tend to wrinkle more. Can't be having that. The only place I apply concealer close to my eye is over here, and that's to sharpen the wing. So after we blended out the concealer, you want to set it. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm just dipping the Beauty Blender in there. And I also apply this the least amount away from my under eyes. And then I lightly make my way over. I'm doing the baking technique because I want like a full glam here. So I'm going in. And you put this on the side of your nose because you want to make it, if you want to make something have less shadows and appear more narrow, you can highlight them to get rid of them over here. I look crazy. So let it sit for like, I don't know, I let it sit for like 30 seconds because I'm impatient, and then I'm going to use my Dose of Color setting brush to wipe all the excess powder away. And I don't recommend this if you have dry skin or dry under eyes. I can tell when I have drier eyes when I don't drink enough water. It really affects my creasing, gets worse, and I don't do this technique because it'll just make me look like a mummy. Next, I'm going to take my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC43 and a MAC 217, and I'm going to slightly contour my nose with this. This is a powder foundation. It's just a little bit tanner than my skin. Not really that much tanner, because I don't want to look too overly contoured. So now I'm going to bronze up my skin using the NARS Laguna bronzer. I'm going to mix Laguna and Casino because I'm feeling rebellious. On a Sigma contour brush. And after the contour, we're gonna use the Jaclyn Hill and Becca palette. I'm gonna be taking Prosecco Pop, this color here, and highlighting with that. And I'm gonna do that C type motion over here. I'm also gonna use that highlight on the Cupid's bow and the tip of the nose. I'm also going to pick up the blush in the palette, this pink one right over here. The same brush I used to contour, and just apply that on the apples of the cheeks. So now we're going to finish off the rest of the eyes. Going back into the Renaissance palette, I think I'm just going to take Love Letter, which is this color right here, and run that on the lower lash line. Then I'm going to take this LEXI 231 brush that I used earlier, and I'm just going to use that to blend it out so that we have a nice diffused look. Pick up a little bit of Realgar, which is this like orangey shade, and I'm going to also add that and just blend it out softly. I'm gonna ground this so you don't look sickly in a second, but I'm gonna highlight my inner corners first using the Zodiac Makeup Geek Sparkler. Ooh, girl, sparkly. So to ground the lower lash line so you don't look like you're sick or dying, you know, with the red eyeshadow, we're gonna take Taboo, and this is by Makeup Geek. Let's see what we can do. And a Smith 205 angled brush, which Cannoli decided to chew. All my brushes are chewed because Cannoli likes to play with my makeup. She somehow gets these things. I don't know how. She's so little. I'm just gonna start deepening up the outer corner of the lower lash line with this. By adding a darker color when you do a really blown out sort of red smoky eye, it just grounds the look so that you don't look like you're sick. Gives you a little bit more depth. I'm also gonna apply a liner in the waterline. So by adding this darker color right below the waterline, it's gonna make that pop once we add it. For the waterline, I'm going back into Crybaby by ColourPop, what we used as the base. I'm taking a Dose of Colors liner brush, and I'm just gonna line the waterline. Make the sexiest face ever when you do this too. I know I have a lot of highlighter on already, but I decided to use the Pat McGrath Iridescent Pink highlight just because it's gonna go with this makeup. And there's not a lot of chances I get to wear this. So I'm just gonna apply it on the high points here, just to bring out the purples and the pinks. And then I'm gonna apply some mascara to my lower lashes using the Elcie Cosmetics TIGHTLINE Full Lash Effect. If I had long ass lower lashes, do you know how much more my eyes would just be popping right now? They'd be like popping. Right now they're just like, hmm. For the lips, I'm gonna use Creme Brulee, and this is by JOUER Cosmetics. Alright guys, so that's it for this tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed this makeup look. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down there. If you guys aren't already, don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram that are all Desi Perkins. Also, leave your video requests in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Do I have audio this time? Don't play me. Ay, Dios mío. This part always gets really awkward because I'm just like, what do I say now? Chicken clap, chicken clap, chicken clap. Why am I so weird on camera?